You guys know that I've been trading US30 for a while, and to be honest guys, like this is like literally the 2nd July that I get to trade US30, and like with what I've seen, it's moving a bit more different, but I like the fact that it's showing me more data that I can use in order for me to just develop and become a good trader. What's going on guys, it's Mothupi. Today's video we're going to be looking at US30. Obviously you know I love this, you know I love talking about it, I love analyzing, going through it. We are going to be looking at US30. I'm going to show you what it is that I see, what you can take advantage of, and like what it is that you can even take in a plain form of, like, you know, advice, like, you know, some advice that I can leave you guys with maybe at the end of this video. By I'll let you guys know on when it comes to the market conditions, because there's what we call the market conditions, whereby even your strategy, when it comes to a different market condition, it can move a bit more. It can produce, like, you know, maybe a higher win rate or a lower win rate, or it can produce different results from what you have back tested just because of that condition. So we are going to speak a bit more about that too, so you guys get to understand on how this works. So what you can do now for me while we are about to jump in this video, obviously you can just make sure that you like this video, hit the subscribe button, as these are the videos that I do share out there with you. I send my voice in a positive way, at the same time I make sure that my voice is heard. So yeah, that's actually the whole purpose. So now let us take a look at US30. So you can simply see, let me start off first with, you know, here the daily. Let me not go too far to the weekly. Let me go to the daily so you guys are able to see that whole bigger movement. Okay, so with US30, it's been a clear upward direction. It's been a beautiful clear upward direction. You can see how the market is pushing. Yes, it's pushing upwards, downwards, but it's more creating higher highs and higher lows compared to lows. Okay, I hope we're eating from gold. Members in the team are already eating from setups here. Okay. The 4-hour chart. So now looking at the 4-hour chart, obviously we had this big impulsive move, then we had this correction, then this big impulsive move, then correction, big impulsive move, then correction. So even with this one, yeah, I like the fact that, like, it could have been spotted a bit earlier, because just like how we caught this one here, first touch, second touch, this one here, you can simply see it produces the same, it gave us the same thing, but because of already at this time we're looking at, like, you know, sells up until down here. So that was, like, you know, the whole movement. But when it started to push for buys, we were not too observant with that, so that's why we missed out on this beautiful opportunity. But with that, you can simply see, if I just draw my patterns, just like this. Let me remove this. I'm just evolving my structure. And so also one thing that we teach in the 3.0 is pattern separation, like being able to separate patterns and evolving structure, meaning that if a specific structure is no longer their way, and, you know, it needs just some it actually evolved into something else, you need to be able to spot that and, you know, be able to just evolve it to the most recent structure. Okay, let me not remove that. Okay, perfect. Let me remove this. Okay, so yeah, you can simply see here with my structure here, obviously price give us impulse correction and this break of an impulsive nature. So now that is clean, What I'm going to try to do now is that I'm going to try to go to the smaller time frame. Okay, let's see from the daily what is our highs at. Okay, so we can look to take profit here up until we break this area here. So currently this is like the highest price has been at, so I can't really say that we are targeting more future areas. We can just try to make the most while going to these targets. Okay, now on the 1-hour chart. Okay, so now I'm going to move to the most recent structure. So even here you can simply see what happened. Price broke out impulsively, came back to retest. Okay, it came back to retest, and then boom, it shot up. So now I'm looking at this whole movement that took place here. So instead of me just now focusing on it from, like, you know, the previous old structure to it coming and doing this, what I'm going to do now is that I'm just going to come here, evolve it to the most recent one, and then I'll be able to take the message from the market. Like, let's say now, for instance, with such a move, you could have seen that if already I saw this move before time, I could have now been in a beautiful profit. Let's say I'd have, like, you know, my buy somewhere around here when price tested, and I'd have maybe my stop losses be around here. So if in case price decides to come all the way down to here, then obviously my take profits is here, and it has a great risk compared to reward. But what I'm going to do now is that I'm just going to wait for price to, like, let's say now something like this, you understand, like something like this, it gave us a young beautiful signal, can easily just catch a buy on it, stop loss below, take profit, just above here. It depends on what it is that you're looking for from the markets. Like obviously if you're looking for the 1:1 trade that's gonna most definitely hit your take profit, then this is something that you can go for, né? Like, you know, you can simply see with all confirmations. But I'd love for price to just easily come a bit more to the downside, just a bit more, once more to the downside. Like even if it gives me that structure, okay, I was looking for a tool to draw. Let me just rather use it here. Even if it gives me, obviously I can see now it's like a mini double bottom, but if it gives me that third touch, then I'll be able to have this specific movement, and then it'll be better for me because I'll have a much more greater risk compared to what, like if I manage to get a sellers here, I'll give my stop loss just below a bit here. Depends on how the candlestick has rejected, then obviously I'll be looking to target the same areas as this, which is now the same trade but has turned into a 3%. So that's what I'm actually looking at now on US30. But also let's see what we can also expect. So now if price happens to not go to the upside now, so I've shown you guys two different scenarios of if price actually decides to go to the upside. But if price doesn't go to the upside, so what can happen is, like, you know, if price just, you know, goes breaks below, closes below here, then this area turns into our strong sellers all the way down to here. So we can even take advantage in such a move, né? Take advantage in such a move, then our take profit would be something similar to this, on which risk compared to reward would still be 3. I like the fact that, like, you know, whatever you're looking for, sell or buy, as long as your risk compared to reward can be 3, then we are good. We are perfectly with that. But okay, let me not confuse you guys and show you two different things and all those things. But I just wanted you guys to be able to see with the mindset type of like what it is that you can expect, you know, with like perspective, yeah? So when trading, you don't just see the market in a buy and then you stick to it. You open up your mind for different types of scenarios and take a look at this dodgy candlestick here. You can simply see price has broken out of resistance. Now it came back, and as soon as it came back, it done this beautiful doji. So there's a high chance of us going to the upside. Definitely if this candlestick closes with the bullish, then there's a high chance of us going to the upside. Now the chances are much more. They have confirmed, basically. They've confirmed. Okay, so that's like simply how it looks like, you know, on US30. I believe that we are going to capitalize on this beautiful trade. Obviously it's just you being able to just play around with perspectives and stuff, né? And looking at, you know, the upside of things, you can see how this candlestick has broken out. Look at this area from here. Price has never broken out, and only these candlesticks are the ones that broke out, the recent ones, which means that for this week there's a high chance of us we have broken out of this resistance. Sorry about that, guys, my mouth is a bit dry, but there's a higher chance of us, like, you know, it broke out of resistance. Not only that, but there's also a higher chance of price just continuing going to the upside. So that's one thing that I like about this, just price impulsing and continue going to the upside for us to be able to capitalize on that bias to the upside now. So that's one thing that we can also look at up until price gives us something different. If it gives us like a major rejection or something else, then yeah, maybe you can start looking for sales and stuff. But so for now, it's been clear, sales that you can get are literally short-term trades, and long terms are obviously to the upside. It doesn't mean that you can't make money selling. Obviously you can make money from short-term moves selling. You can even double your account doing that. But the long-term moves, like the much more better you know, trades that are most likely to hit take profits and stuff, are going to the upside, looking at it as prices broken out resistance on a daily. That's one thing that I like about it. And also speaking about market conditions, I remember at the very start we spoke about, you know, our market conditions, how that affects the market and all those things. And make sure that you subscribe if you haven't. We are now on 125,000 subscribers. Obviously we're reaching for 250,000 subscribers by 2 or 3 months from now. So let's make sure that that does come into a reality. But at the same time, guys, speaking about market conditions, so what actually happens with market conditions is that there comes a specific time in the market whereby, like, you know, because of that specific condition, the market doesn't move as it normally moves. Like, let's say now find out that it's now creating just all-time highs and all-time lows, or find out that now it's just breaking highs, breaking you know, supports or resistance, like, you know, that have been holding for a very long time, or price is just a bit more too volatile, like it's volatile, more volatile compared to, you know, how it normally could be or is. So what normally that happens is, like, you know, during those market conditions, one thing that I like about it is then it teaches you how to excel faster. It teaches you how to see the market in a much more better perspective, because you are taking all this new data and you are still applying it in order for you to become a better trader while taking all those trades. And even though you are losing or you're making mistakes or you're just going to the negative side, remember that, like, you know, the more trades you take, the better you become. The more trade that one takes, the better you become. So obviously with this, the next year when it does come, it's going to happen that, like, now you've got all these data, you know what normally happens, you know if you should trade at the time or if you shouldn't know, if you shouldn't trade, you know what specific movements that you should take, you know, especially at those specific market conditions. And normally how I got my, you know, results with this is like via backtesting. Once I started backtesting all my data into one and put it there and be able to observe what's working, what's not working, what I should tweak, what I shouldn't tweak, what I should do and what I shouldn't do, that's when, like, you know, a lot of things started to just open up for me. And obviously, you know, there's a whole lot of model where I explain about this, because if I start talking about this in this video, it is gonna take way too long. There's a whole lot of module that I speak about this in, like, you know, the 3.0 or even the ultimate transformation program. So I'll drop the links in the description box whereby you can be able to get that information. But guys, like, I'm being for real with market conditions, the way the strategy, the way that you've been seeing the market thinking that it's like that, it normally changes, and, like, you know, only for that specific time. But what happens is that during that phase, it's either you're gonna have to change your strategy, you're gonna have to develop your strategy, you're gonna have to either stop trading, or you're gonna have to either just, like, literally just gather a lot of data via, like, just backtesting and doing certain stuff that will help you be able to just understand or learn through that phase, and not let that phase, like, you know, get to you. Because if it gets to you and you change everything each and every time you go through it, then it's going to be a bit more tough of you to be able to get success in the long term run. Because if you keep on changing things, then how are you going to get success in the long game? Because the most important thing is that you need to, you know, keep that success that you've already attained and make sure that it actually brings you more successes. But guys, that is just it here. I wanted you guys to see this setup with me. I wanted you guys to understand what's actually going on this beautiful pay. And I will see you guys on the next video. Make sure that you have already checked out the previous video that I have. Super inspirational. It's very inspiring. Just make sure that you do watch it. Day in life of a 23-year-old entrepreneur. And yeah, I'll also try to leave the link in the description box, or you can just go through my channel and browse around and you'll see the video. But I'll see you guys on the next video. It's your boy Mothupi. Make sure that you like, subscribe. Make sure that you've already checked out the ultimate transformation program. See you on the next video.